I was signing the co-buyer agreement for the custom motorcycle we'd ordered together. $19,000, my name guaranteeing the loan. When the dealership manager pulled me aside to say, "Just so you know, your girlfriend's ex-boyfriend was here yesterday asking about the same bike for them." Hey friends, please subscribe and turn on notifications, like this video, and leave a comment with your impressions. This will be a great help. Thank you. We never tire of reminding you. It's all thanks to you. Pittsburgh gets this specific kind of autumn where the steel bridges stand out against orange leaves, and the three rivers reflect everything twice over, making the whole city feel like it's painted in rust and gold. That's what late October looked like when everything fell apart. I'm 37, spent the last 13 years working as a quality control engineer for a manufacturing company that makes precision tools. Detail work, verification work, the kind of job where you catch problems before they become expensive mistakes. Lena is 32, works as a tattoo artist at a well-known shop in Lawrenceville. Creative, talented with ink, always showing me photos of her latest pieces, portraits, geometric designs, full-sleeve work that took months to complete. We'd been together for 3.5 years, living in a duplex we rented in Bloomfield for the past 14 months. Not engaged officially, but we'd been talking about it, looking at rings, discussing timeline, planning a future. The motorcycle had been a joint dream. We'd both wanted to ride, talked about road trips through Pennsylvania, maybe down to Tennessee, out to the Blue Ridge Parkway. 2 months ago, we'd gone to Steel City Harley-Davidson and test rode a bunch of bikes. Settled on a custom Softail, matte black, upgraded exhaust, comfortable for two-up riding. Base price $17,000, but with the customizations we wanted it came to $19,000 for $100. We'd put down a deposit of $2,000 from our joint savings, $1,000 from each of us, and ordered the bike with our specific modifications. Build time was 6 to 8 weeks. The plan was to pick it up in early November, right before the weather turned too cold. I was financing my half through the dealership, and Lena said she'd pay her half in cash when we picked it up. Except yesterday, Tuesday, October 24th, the financing department called and suggested I come in to finalize the loan paperwork. The bike was ready ahead of schedule, they said. Could I come Wednesday afternoon? I'd taken a long lunch break and driven to the dealership in Harmar. Lena knew I was going. I'd texted her that morning. She'd said she was booked solid with tattoo appointments all day, couldn't get away, just handle the paperwork, and she'd settle her portion when we picked up the bike together on Saturday. The finance manager, a guy named Rick, walked me through the loan documents. $9,700 financed over 3 years at 6.2% interest. Monthly payments of $297. Standard stuff. I was reading through the terms when Rick said, "Just sign here, and you'll be the primary borrower. Your girlfriend will be listed as co-buyer since you're taking joint ownership." Co-buyer or co-borrower? I asked. In my line of work, you learn that words matter. Co-buyer on the title. But since you're financing and she's paying cash for her half, only your name is on the loan. You're solely responsible for the debt. Got it. I was about to sign when Rick's manager, a woman named Denise, knocked on the glass door of the finance office and gestured for Rick to come outside. He excused himself. Through the glass, I could see them having an intense conversation, Denise pointing at something on her phone, Rick's expression changing. Rick came back and looking uncomfortable. "Austin, can I talk to you privately for a second?" "We are private. I mean, not about the bike. About something else." We stepped out into the hallway. Denise was standing there looking awkward. "I don't know if I should tell you this," Denise said, "but my conscience won't let me not say something. Yesterday afternoon, a man came in asking about this exact bike, your custom Softail. He wanted to know when it would be ready and what the pickup process was. He said his girlfriend Lena had ordered it, and he wanted to surprise her by helping with the pickup." I felt something cold settle in my stomach. What did this guy look like? Tall, maybe 6'1", dark hair, sleeve tattoos on both arms. He was wearing a leather jacket. Did he give a name? Cameron something. Cameron Ross, I think. He had questions about transferring the title, whether we could put both his name and Lena's on it instead of yours. Cameron Ross, Lena's ex-boyfriend from her mid-20s. They dated for almost 4 years before breaking up about 5 years ago when he moved to Philadelphia for a tattoo apprenticeship. She'd mentioned him exactly 3 times in our entire relationship. Once when showing me her portfolio and pointing out a piece he'd done on her ribcage before they broke up. Once when someone from her old shop got married and mentioned Cameron had been there, and once when we were watching Ink Master and she said her ex used to be obsessed with that show. What did you tell him? I asked. I told him the bike was ordered by you and Lena, and any title changes would need to involve both parties. He seemed confused, like he didn't know you existed. Then he left. I stood there processing. When exactly was this? Yesterday, Tuesday, around 3 p.m. The same day? While I was at work. While Lena was supposedly booked with tattoo appointments. Did he say anything else? He asked when the bike would be ready. I didn't give him specifics, just said within the week. He said he'd be in touch. I looked at Rick. Can you hold off on finalizing this loan for 24 hours? Sure, but we need it completed by Friday if you want to take delivery Saturday. Understood. I'll be back tomorrow. I walked out of the dealership and sat in my truck in the parking lot. Pulled out my phone and opened Instagram. Lena's account was public. She used it to showcase her tattoo work. Scrolled through her recent posts. Lots of tattoo photos, some shop events, a few personal posts. Went to her tagged photos. Found one from 3 weeks ago. A group shot at a tattoo convention in Philadelphia. Lena was in the photo along with about 8 other artists. I zoomed in on the faces. Recognized one of them from her stories. A guy with sleeve tattoos, dark hair, leather jacket. Clicked through to his profile. Cameron_Ross_Inc. Based in Philadelphia. Tattoo artist. Recent posts showed work he'd done, shop life, some personal stuff. Scrolled back 2 weeks. A photo of him on a motorcycle. A black Harley, similar style to what we'd ordered. Caption, can't wait to upgrade to the new ride. Big plans coming together. I checked the date. Posted October 10th. 2 weeks ago. Clicked through his stories, nothing current. But his highlights had a section called Pittsburgh. I opened it. Photos from various times, most at least several months old. But 3 stories from last week. Photos of the Strip District, a shot of the Lawrenceville Bridge, a photo taken inside what looked like Lena's tattoo shop. My hands were shaking. I opened our joint bank account on my phone. The account we'd opened a year ago for shared expenses. We each contributed $500 a month. Current balance, $4,100. Scrolled through transactions. Our $2,000 motorcycle deposit had come out September 15th. Monthly rent payments, utilities, groceries. Normal stuff. Then I saw something from last week. October 19th. Cash withdrawal, $2,000. Location, PNC Bank, Lawrenceville branch. No memo, no note. $2,000. Exactly half the motorcycle deposit. I sat there putting pieces together. Cameron in Philadelphia asking about our bike. Cameron posting about upgrading his ride. $2,000 withdrawn from our account. Lena supposedly unable to come to the dealership today because of appointments. I called the tattoo shop where Lena worked. A guy answered, sounded like Marcus, one of the other artists. Alchemy Inc. This is Marcus. Hey Marcus, it's Austin. Is Lena there? Nah man, she called out today. Said she wasn't feeling well. She called out. Yeah, this morning. Said she might have food poisoning or something. Why, is everything okay? Yeah, everything's fine. Thanks Marcus. I hung up and checked the time. 2:15. Lena had texted me at 9 this morning. Slammed with appointments today. Won't be able to check my phone much. Love you. She'd lied about being at work. She called out sick. So where was she? I drove home to our duplex in Bloomfield. Her car wasn't there. I let myself in and looked around. Everything seemed normal at first. Then I noticed her overnight bag was missing. The small black duffel she used for weekend trips. Went to the bathroom. Her toothbrush was gone. Contact lens case, gone. Back in the bedroom, I checked her dresser. Some clothes were missing, not a lot, but enough for a few days. I sat on our bed and opened the Find My app on my phone. We'd shared locations about a year ago, mostly for practical reasons. Knowing when the other person was heading home, that kind of thing. Her location showed she was in Philadelphia. Specifically, on a street in the Northern Liberties neighborhood. I zoomed in on the map. Her location pin was sitting on top of a building. I opened Google Maps and street viewed the address. It was a mixed-use building, retail on the bottom, apartments above. One of the storefronts was a tattoo shop. The sign read, Ross & Sons Tattoo Collective. Cameron's shop. I sat there staring at my phone. Lena was in Philadelphia. At Cameron's tattoo shop. After withdrawing $2,000 from our account. After Cameron had showed up at our motorcycle dealership asking about putting his name on the title. After lying to me about working today. I opened my laptop and pulled up our duplex lease. Both names on it, month to month as of September. We'd switched from annual because we'd been talking about maybe buying a house together next year. 30 days notice required from either party. Rent was $1,800 a month, split evenly. I pulled up the motorcycle paperwork. The deposit receipt showed both our names. The bike was ordered as joint ownership, but I was the only one on the financing. Then I looked at our joint account again. For $1,100. My contributions over the past year totaled about $6,000. Hers totaled about $4,800. But she'd withdrawn $2,000 last week. I spent about 30 minutes just sitting there, thinking through logistics. Then I started making moves. First, I called Rick at the dealership. Rick, it's Austin. I'm canceling the motorcycle order. What? Are you sure? The bike is ready. It's exactly what you spec'd. I'm sure. I want to cancel and get our deposit back. Let me check the terms. Okay, you're past the 30-day cancellation window, so the deposit is non-refundable. You'd lose the $2,000. That's fine. Cancel the order. I need both buyers to sign off since both names are on the order. I'm signing off right now. Lena will need to confirm her portion. Got it. I'll send the cancellation paperwork to your email. Next, I called our duplex landlord. Northside Rentals, this is Karen. Karen, this is Austin Webb at 5247 Liberty Avenue, Unit B. I need to give 30-day notice. Oh, sorry to hear you're moving. When's your final day? November 24th. I'll process that. Will Lena be staying? That's her decision. I'm only giving notice for myself. I started looking at apartments immediately. Found a one-bedroom in Highland Park, different neighborhood, close to a park where I could run. Available December 1st. $1,300 a month. Applied online. Then I withdrew my portion from our joint account. Calculated exactly what I'd contributed minus shared expenses. Came to $2,400. Transferred it to my personal account. Left the rest for Lena. Around 4 p.m., Lena called. Hey babe, how did the dealership go? I almost laughed at the casualness of it. Interesting. How are you feeling? Feeling? Marcus said you called out sick today. Food poisoning. Silence. Where are you, Lena? I'm at home. No, you're not. I'm at home. You're not here. More silence. According to Find My, you're in Philadelphia. At a tattoo shop on North 2nd Street. Want to tell me about that? I heard her breathing change. Austin, I can explain. Please do. Explain why you're in Philadelphia with Cameron. Explain why you withdrew $2,000 from our account last week. Explain why Cameron showed up at our motorcycle dealership yesterday, asking about putting his name on the bike instead of mine. He what? The dealership manager told me. Cameron came in Tuesday asking about our bike. Wanted to know about changing the title to his name and yours. He seemed confused that I existed. Austin, that's not. He wasn't supposed to. Wasn't supposed to what? Talk to the dealership? Or were you planning to tell me about him at some point? I was going to tell you. I just didn't know how. Tell me what exactly? She was crying now. Cameron and I reconnected a few months ago. He's been asking me to move back to Philadelphia. He wants to open a second shop location and wants me to run it with him. And you were considering this while planning a motorcycle purchase with me? I didn't know what to do. I love you, but Cameron and I have history and the business opportunity is incredible. So you were going to take our deposit money and use it for what? Moving to Philadelphia? Starting a business with him? I took out my half. That $2,000 was mine. Except we were supposed to use it to buy a bike together. Instead, you're using it to start a new life with your ex. It's not like that. Then what is it like? Because from where I'm standing, you lied about being sick, you're in Philadelphia with Cameron, you withdrew money from our shared account, and he's trying to get his name on a motorcycle I'm financing. That seems pretty clear to me. Austin, please, I'm just figuring things out. No need. I'm figuring them out for you. I canceled the motorcycle order. We lose the deposit, but at least I'm not on the hook for $9,000 in financing while you run off to Philadelphia. You canceled it? Yep. I also gave 30-day notice on our duplex. I'm moving out November 24th. Where am I supposed to live? Philadelphia, apparently. With Cameron. At his shop. Or wherever you were planning to go. Austin, stop. You're being rash. I'm being practical. You made your choice. You chose Cameron and Philadelphia and whatever business plan he sold you on. I'm just responding to the choice you already made. I haven't chosen anything. I'm just exploring options. While lying to me about where you are and what you're doing. That's choosing, Lena. You just don't want to own it yet. She tried everything over the next hour on that call. Said she was confused and needed time. Said Cameron was just a friend and business partner. Said she loved me and wanted to make it work. Said I was overreacting to her just visiting Philadelphia. I didn't argue, just kept stating facts. She'd lied about being sick. She was in Philadelphia with her ex. She'd withdrawn shared money. Cameron had tried to get on our motorcycle title. I'd canceled the bike and given notice on the apartment. Finally, she said, I need a few days to think. Take all the time you need. But I'm moving forward with my plans. She hung up. I sat in our quiet duplex and started packing. Just my stuff. Clothes, tools, my furniture from before we moved in together. Worked methodically, boxing everything, labeling it clearly. Over the next week, the contact attempts came in waves. Thursday, Cameron called from an unknown number. Austin, this is Cameron. I think there's been a misunderstanding. Lena and I are just talking business. I hung up and blocked the number. Friday, long text from Lena. I'm coming home tomorrow. We need to talk about this face to face. I love you and I want to work this out. I replied, I'll be here to get more of my things. You're welcome to talk, but my decision hasn't changed. Saturday, she showed up at the duplex around noon. I was loading boxes into a U-Haul I'd rented. Austin, please. Let's just sit down and talk. I'm listening. I made a mistake going to Philadelphia without telling you. But I swear nothing happened with Cameron. We just talked about the business opportunity. For 3 days. While lying to me about being sick. I knew you wouldn't understand. Understand what? That you're considering moving to another city to work with your ex-boyfriend? You're right. I don't understand doing that while pretending to plan a future with me. It's just a business opportunity. Then why lie about it? Why not tell me Cameron reached out? Tell me about the offer, have an honest conversation about it. She didn't have an answer. I'll tell you why, I continued. Because you knew I'd ask questions. I'd want details. I'd point out that moving to Philadelphia to work with your ex-boyfriend while we're supposedly building a life together doesn't make sense. So you hid it. You lied. And you were going to keep lying until you figured out which option you wanted more. That's not fair. It's exactly fair. You wanted to keep me as backup while you explored things with Cameron. I'm not interested in being someone's backup plan. She tried every angle over the next several hours. Tears, promises, anger, bargaining. I kept packing, kept moving boxes, kept preparing to leave. By Sunday evening, I had most of my stuff out. The apartment looked half empty, but functional. Monday, I got an email from Lena. Subject, I'm sorry. The message explained that Cameron had reached out in July. They'd started talking about the old days, which led to talking about the tattoo industry, which led to him pitching the business idea. She'd been visiting Philadelphia on weekends when I thought she was at tattoo conventions. She admitted she'd developed feelings again, but swore nothing physical had happened. She said being back in Philly made her realize she missed that life, that scene, that version of herself. She was moving there at the end of the month. She wanted to split everything fairly and hoped we could part as friends. I read it once, then replied, I'll be out by the 24th. Keep whatever furniture you want. The joint account has about $2,000 left. That's yours. We're even. Take care. Set up a filter to archive her future emails. By mid-November, I was settled in my Highland Park apartment. Smaller, quieter, completely mine. Started running in the park every morning. Joined a climbing gym nearby. Took a welding class at a makerspace in the Strip District, something I'd always been curious about. Work stayed steady. Holiday season meant overtime opportunities. I took them, kept busy, found the routine grounding. Early December, I ran into Marcus from Lena's tattoo shop at a Steelers game. We'd hung out a few times at shop events. Austin, how's it going, man? Good, Marcus. You? Solid. Hey, I don't know if you heard, but that whole Philadelphia thing kind of crashed and burned. Oh, yeah. Cameron apparently had promised like 3 different artists they'd run the new location. Lena got there and found out she was one of several people he'd made the same offer to. There was no real business plan. He was just trying to recruit talent. She ended up renting a chair at a different shop. That's rough. Also his girlfriend. Yeah, he has a girlfriend. Lives with her. She wasn't thrilled when she found out Cameron had been flying an ex down to visit and talk about business. Pretty messy. I absorbed that. Complicated situation. Lena tried to get her job back at Alchemy, but we'd already filled her chair. She's struggling to build clientele in a new city. Whole thing's been a disaster for her. I hope she figures it out. You seem like you're doing good, though. I am. Really good. We talked for a few more minutes about the game, then went back to our seats. I thought about what Marcus said while I walked to my truck later. Cameron had lied to Lena about the business opportunity. He had a girlfriend he'd hidden. Lena had blown up her life in Pittsburgh for a situation that was never what it seemed. I didn't feel vindicated, just clear that I'd made the right call. Late December, I was at a Polish restaurant in the Strip District, trying their pierogi, working through different cuisines as a weekend cooking project, when I saw Lena walk in with some people I didn't recognize. She was back in Pittsburgh, apparently, visiting for the holidays maybe. She saw me, froze, then walked over after saying something to her group. Austin. Hi, Lena. I heard you've been doing well. Highland Park. Yeah. Nice neighborhood. Awkward pause. I'm just in town for Christmas. Staying with my parents. How's Philadelphia? It's been hard. The business thing didn't work out like Cameron said. I'm building from scratch at a new shop. I'm sorry it didn't work out. Are you? Yeah. I didn't want you to fail. I just didn't want to be part of the equation while you chased it. She nodded, eyes getting wet. I threw away something real for something that was never real. I see that now. I hope you build something good in Philadelphia. Is there any chance? No. She wiped at her eyes. I figured. You look happy. I am. I'm glad. You deserve that. She started to walk back to her table, then turned. Thank you for not making this harder than it had to be. You could have fought about the money, the apartment, everything. You didn't. Wouldn't have served any purpose. She nodded and left. I finished my pierogi, potato and cheese, perfectly done, paid the bill, and walked home through the cold Pittsburgh evening. The city lights reflected off the rivers, the bridges lit up against the dark sky. My apartment was warm when I got there. I made tea, read for a while, then called my sister to finalize Christmas plans with her family. Normal evening. Uncomplicated. Mine. I didn't feel triumphant. I felt whole. When someone starts secretly planning a new life with their ex while still building a future with you, and you find out by accident before they've made their final decision, do you wait to see what they choose, or do you make the choice for them by walking away? Share your perspective in the comments.